As a teacher, you must be aware of some students in your class who are really struggling and their results are really disappointing despite most your efforts. That was the case for one parent, Esther Kadodi, mother to 16-year-old Cain Okello. She engaged all sorts of teachers from all sorts of schools, but unfortunately, the result did not improve, citing Cain's inability to write exams.
My son Cain, I struggled with him a bit when he started school initially. I mean, every time I used to be called to school to be told that my son does not concentrate in class. So all the way from play school all the way to when he stopped going to school, I mean the regular school, I used to be called to school to be told, what is happening? What are you feeding your son on? I mean, even when talking about nutrition and diet and what to do, because every time he's in school, more often than not, he has to sit next to the teacher for things to go on. So when he's left to sit with the other ones, he's busy hitting the pencil, throwing things up and down. So they used to wonder what is wrong with this child. And then he used to attend school. Normally he attends school, he does not miss school. I make sure that he does his homework. But when the exams come, and I look at the results, I see most of them were ranging in the ED area. So I used to be very worried about talent.
She bumped into professional and scientific assessment of talents at African Federation for the Gifted and Talented, from where Cain was assessed and his innate potentials unearthed.
I tried all sorts of tuitions that you know about. I took him everywhere, and people were telling me, you are overloading your son with too many things. So I was wondering now, what it was apparent. I was worried. I was saying, now I'm pushing this child through school. The grades that come back home are not the grades that any parent would want to see. So I kept on looking for solutions all over the place. Then the last school he was in is in Westerns. I mean, it's in around that side of Western. So I used to drive past Chirongo, and I used to see the gift and talent center. And it kept on disturbing me. I kept on saying, but my son does not have even the grades that gift. No, that was my thinking. When anyone tells you about gift and talent, you expect your child to have A's throughout in maths, or A's throughout in English, or maybe has started playing music when they are so young and they are so good. I mean, there's talent that you might not see, and that is what the issue I had. I wasn't seeing anything.
Although Esther earlier thought that gifted and talented was only for those who are academically bright in schools, she finally came to know that everyone has a talent, including a son, Cain. The only thing is that the school did not know, and neither did they have resources to unearth Cain's real potential, known as talent. She shared her relief as she explains how she had initially lost hope.
So I used to pass that so regularly, and I told myself, no, this is not a place. This is a place for the children who are really, 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 really gifted. So I used to. Then one day I picked courage and walked in, and I explained to the receptionist that I have a son, and this is the situation I'm going through. Then he told me, no, these are the people we are looking for. If this is the kind of person you are describing, wait until you see the consultant. So bring him for assessment. So I took him there for assessment, and then I was told come for the results after I think 2 or 3, or maybe I think a month. Then as usual, I told myself I've taken this child to so many places, so many things, so I just brushed it off. But then one day I went, I said, let me go pick these results in. So when I walked in there, I was told, now you need to see the consultant. So I said, look, if I take me to his office. So when I went to the office, I met Professor. He told me, mtoto wako wapi? I said, I came to pick his. No, don't come here without the child. Come here with that boy. So, and I'd taken him to play football because he loves football. So I went, picked him up, and I brought him in. And he told me, Madam, your child is very gifted. That is the only time I felt relief. All my life now. I felt like now, that was the time now the change came. So I brought him, and he told me exactly what he has found in Cain and the talent he has picked. And I kind of started feeling, you start feeling relieved. So I started feeling relieved that at least I am getting something. And when I took him there, I think I was in what I would call year 5 in the British curriculum. So he started attending the talent center there at Chilomo Lane, and that's where he started attending the talent center. Then when he reached year 6 in the British curriculum, they do what is called the Key Stage 2 exams. So when that exam was done, the headmistress called me and told me, "Madam, there's nothing we can do about your child. He has done the certificate and you can see for yourself. So all we can do is let's just push him and let's create for him a curriculum." Now that means that my son was going to have a special curriculum in that school where he will be taught different from the other children. Perhaps he's even going to be pulled out of class to learn separately from the other children, just to help him pass through school. So I went back to Professor and told Professor, this is what the school has recommended. Professor told me, now, it has reached a time where you have to pull him out of the education system. It is now. Go, think about it, then come back. So I thought about it and we agreed that, yeah, it is time we pull him out of the normal education system.
Ken Okello joined us as a young 8.5-year-old, and from the description of the mother, he was in the school of the nations. And in that school, this young man appeared very normal, very intelligent, and very active. He knows nearly everything, but when he goes to exams, he loses it all. So the mother didn't understand why that was taking place. So he did a quick assessment, and from the assessment it revealed that the young man suffered a neural twitch. It's called a neural ganglion twitch that shifted most of his signals from left to the right. So it's more right brain. Now when such a thing occurs, it changes two things in a person. First of all, three things. It changes your instruction style, your product style, and above all, your learning style, particularly for him. And so we had to deal with him. When we found his real talent, we realized that this is a person who would benefit more in open discussions, lesser instructions, and we needed to create independent learning in an open door facility. Then we found again that he had a greater manual dexterity, meaning he's athletic. By the time I was doing the assessment, I thought he was going to be a footballer. As we move along, I'd seen something small in him on his value for his high verbal ability. It did not come out clearly initially that he was going to be something with media. But over time I realized he had a very great affinity with a camera. So I found that he's very good at recording his actions. Today we found out that Ken is doing a lot of good job in sports journalism.
And we took him now full-time at the talent center, and I think he is doing very well at this point.
In graduating with a graduate diploma in the year 2020, it is said to attain full bachelor's degree in 2021 at the age of 17 years, despite all the challenges. Thanks to professional and scientific assessment of talent he received earlier and the subsequent talent-based learning he was placed in, and that matched his learning and ability styles.
My name is Ken Okello. I go to Gates Education. I am currently working in sports management. A normal football pitch is 50 by 100. As you can see, the space we have here isn't much, so we have to use 2 by 10. The goalpost should be 1.2 feet. The central area should be 1.3.
If this message makes sense to you, contact us through the contacts on the screen.